Let me ask you something real. Have you ever had a woman interested in you at first, only to watch that spark fade for reasons you couldn't explain? You gave her attention. You were available. You were nice. But still, something was missing. That's because attraction isn't about how much you do for her. It's about how you make her feel without trying so hard. If you want a woman to be deeply obsessed with you, to think about you day and night, you need more than charm. You need mystery, confidence, and emotional impact. And that starts with understanding these 7 psychological secrets that trigger deep desire in a woman's mind. The biggest mistake most men make is thinking that chasing a woman will make her love them more. They believe that constant texts, quick replies, and making her the center of their world will win her over. But here's the truth. Obsession doesn't come from being overly available. It comes from being a man she sees as a leader, someone who knows where he's going, and invites her along for the ride. When you lead, you give off the energy of confidence, direction, and stability. These qualities don't just attract women, they captivate them. A man with purpose doesn't wait for approval. He wakes up with goals. He moves through the day with intention. And because he's so focused on building something real, he doesn't have time to constantly chase. This doesn't mean he's cold or distant. It means he's grounded. That grounded energy is rare. Most guys are all over the place, bending their values just to keep a woman interested. But the man who leads stands firm. He's not seeking validation, and that creates mystery. That mystery makes her think about him when he's not around. Leadership also means you're decisive. You make plans, not suggestions. You take initiative without asking for permission. Women love to feel like they're being guided by a man who knows what he wants. It gives them a sense of trust, security, and excitement. If she feels safe following your lead, she won't just like you, she'll obsess over you. Because deep down, every woman is drawn to the man who isn't afraid to walk his own path and invite her into his world, not the man who follows her hoping to be noticed. When you lead, you shift the dynamic. And once that shift happens, everything changes. Revealing everything too soon is one of the fastest ways to kill attraction. When a woman can predict everything you're going to say, do, or feel, the excitement fades. Mystery, on the other hand, keeps her mind engaged and her emotions active. It gives her something to think about when you're not around. Women are emotional thinkers. They analyze, they imagine, they fill in blanks. And when you leave just enough space for her to wonder about you, she becomes more and more intrigued. That wondering slowly turns into obsession. Being mysterious doesn't mean being dishonest or playing games. It means you don't overshare your thoughts, plans, or emotions all at once. You don't explain every move you make. You give her just enough to feel connected, but not enough to fully figure you out. When you walk with quiet confidence, when you speak with calm certainty but don't over-explain yourself, she starts to see you as different. Most men oversell themselves. They try to impress her with stories, status, or constant attention. But the man who keeps some things to himself makes her curious. She starts to think, what's he about? What's going on in his mind? The moment she starts wondering is the moment you've captured her attention on a deeper level. She checks her phone more often. She replays conversations in her mind. She starts to read into your words. That's the power of mystery. It puts you in her head without you trying to be there. And the more she thinks about you, the more emotionally invested she becomes. That's how obsession grows. You don't feed her everything at once. You keep her emotionally hungry, always wanting more, always wondering what's next. And that's when she starts chasing you. Attraction is not created in comfort zones. It's created through emotional intensity. A woman doesn't become obsessed with a man because he's always nice or consistently predictable. She becomes obsessed when he triggers deep emotional highs and moments of contrast. This doesn't mean creating chaos or playing with her feelings. It means understanding that emotional variety is what keeps things exciting. Too much calm becomes boring. But a man who can take her on a journey, someone who knows when to be playful, when to be serious, when to challenge her, and when to support her, creates a lasting emotional imprint. When you create emotional highs, you make her feel alive. It could be laughter, deep connection, unexpected moments of vulnerability, or shared adrenaline-filled experiences. These highs activate her emotional memory, and that memory becomes tied to you. But equally important are the moments of space, distance, or challenge. Not in a hurtful way, but in a way that reminds her you are your own man. That contrast, the pull and release, builds tension. And tension is the spark that fuels obsession. A woman wants to feel something when she's around you. If every interaction is flat, safe, and repetitive, there's no reason for her to get hooked. But when she can never fully predict what's coming, when she laughs hard one moment and feels deeply seen the next, she becomes emotionally invested. She starts to crave your presence not just for what you say or do, but for how you make her feel. You become the emotional roller coaster she doesn't want to get off. And that's what keeps her thinking about you, even in silence. That's what makes her check your messages again, replay your words, and wonder when she'll feel that rush again. That's when obsession begins. A man who lives with purpose and direction is naturally attractive. But when his life is rich, exciting, and full of growth, he becomes magnetic. Women don't want to be your reason for existing. They want to be part of a world that's already worth joining. If you're constantly waiting for her to fill the gaps in your life, she'll eventually pull away. But if your world is already moving, if you're building something, chasing goals, exploring passions, she'll want to be close to that energy. People are drawn to momentum, and when your life has it, she won't just admire you, she'll want in. Having an interesting life doesn't mean you need to be wealthy or famous. It means you're passionate. You invest in your health, your mindset, your hobbies, your career. You have friends, challenges, adventures, and standards. You're not waiting around for someone to validate your worth. You've already found it through the life you're creating. That energy is contagious. When she sees that you wake up with purpose, that your time is valuable, and that you're genuinely fulfilled, it sparks admiration. She begins to imagine what it would be like to share in that energy, to be close to someone who makes her life feel more alive. And here's the subtle truth. When you're so focused on your life that you're not trying to impress her, that's when you become the most impressive. It flips the dynamic. She's no longer evaluating you. She's trying to earn a place beside you. That shift is powerful. Because now, the idea of being with you isn't just about affection. It's about being part of something greater. That's how obsession forms, not through neediness, but through value. She sees the richness of your world and begins to crave her place in it. Most men focus on saying the right things, but they forget that energy speaks louder than words. A woman doesn't just listen to what you say, she feels your presence. If your energy is needy, anxious, or uncertain, she'll sense it instantly, even if you're saying all the right lines. But if your energy is calm, confident, grounded, and self-assured, it creates a magnetic pull. Women are deeply intuitive, and they respond to the vibe you carry more than the words you use. That's why working on your inner state is just as important, if not more, than your external actions. When you enter a room, your energy tells a story. Are you secure in who you are? Are you present, or are you distracted? Are you trying to impress, or are you simply being? The man who can sit in silence and still command attention is the one who understands the power of energy. You don't need to brag or prove yourself. Your aura does it for you. It's in your eye contact, your posture, your tone, and the way you handle discomfort. That kind of presence is rare, and it drives women wild, not because you're trying to get their attention, but because you don't need it. Women want to feel something deep when they're with you. Your energy either makes them feel safe, intrigued, and excited, or it makes them pull away. If you walk in your truth, with no desperation, no approval seeking, and complete self-respect, she'll feel it. That's when obsession begins. Not because you chased her, but because your energy quietly captivated her. It's the invisible force that draws her in again and again, making her think about you long after the conversation ends. Energy is everything, and when it's right, words become secondary.